Tuesday travel on the right hook, thanks to Vodafone, giving you internet on your smartphone across Europe from just €2 a day.
All right, it's George Hook here with Fionn Davenport because it is time for Tuesday travel. Last week we were in Thailand. A bit of a change this week.
Yeah. We're going to another place that's very dear to me.
Very dear?
Oh, yeah.
No, not very dear.
No, it's not. It's very dear to me.
Yes.
Not for me.
Yes.
Donegal.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, yeah. I find there are Donegal fanatics.
There are.
No other county in Ireland seems to generate a kind of fanaticism amongst visitors or holidaymakers.
As a I'm not a Donegal native, but I've been going up there since I was a teenager. I would wager that a big part of that is because Donegal's always been put upon. You know, it's traditionally, from a socio-economic point of view, it's Ireland's poorest county.
Yeah.
It's the only county in Ireland that doesn't have a rail link anymore since, I think, the early 50s, when it was the last of the... it's cut off by Fermanagh's kind of finger. So,
yeah.
You know, there's that only a kind of a tiny stretch of it that links it to the rest of the 26 counties.
Right.
So I think part of Donegal's thing is like, and they're kind of the wild mountain people of the northwest of Ireland as well. So you've got a combination of things that have conspired to create a kind of a defiance, but at the same time, people who kind of get in underneath Donegal's skin become their biggest apostates. You know, they're unbelievable for it. They love the place and can't speak highly enough. And I have to say I'm one of those, I think.
All right. Well, I'm not great in geography. I've been to Letterkenny. I've been to Donegal town. Of course, I've been to the wonderful Glenveigh
National Park is amazing.
National Park.
Yeah, it's stunning.
Yeah. But what I haven't done, and you might help me on this, the fanatics talk about Donegal beaches.
Oh, yeah. The Donegal beaches, I mean, there's lots of them, and I'd probably get texters in now going, you forgot this beach and you forgot that beach. If I'm not mistaken, I think second only to Cork, there is more coastline in Donegal than any other county in Ireland. So virtually every
beaches.
Yeah, every few miles you get a beach. The best ones, or the most popular ones really, are the ones that you'll find kind of, we got a south and west of Donegal town, so in the southwest of the county. And, you know, you have places like Bundoran, but not just that, just Rosnowla, and then all these kind of surf beaches. I'm not a surfer, George, so, you know, I have no idea which is a good surf beach and which isn't, but I know from surfer friends of mine that the really, really good ones tend to be. However, as I said, pretty much anywhere you go along the coastline of Donegal, you're going to find, like, there's always someone goes, no, you got to know this particular beach that only 7 people go to any time of year. Like, there's a beach that I would know called Tramore, near Dunfanaghy and Hornhead, which I've been to, 50 times in my life, and I've never seen more than 6 people on it. But there's this huge stretch of beach that you have to walk over sand dunes to get to. But once you get there, you're standing there and you're going, like, I'm in God's bounty, and I've no idea why there's no one else here.
All right. Now, the Blue Book has some smashing hotels, like the Mustard Seed near Dare and stuff like that. I stayed in one. We were broadcasting in Letterkenny, and I stayed in Rathmullen House, which is a Blue Book property, and right on a beach. 100 yards away you got the beach. I could imagine it'd be a fantastic place in good weather.
Yeah, Rathmullen House is when you talk about kind of luxurious country Irish living or country houses, this is one of the great examples. It's right on the shores of Lough Swilly, so you've got kind of Lough Swilly kind of extending out in front of you. It's not the cheapest place in the world. Last I checked, like your standard double in and around the high season was around €200 a night.
Not cheap, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Not cheap.
But incredibly luxurious, as I said.
Not so much like the rooms are luxurious.
No.
I mean, it's got a really good restaurant. It's got a really fantastic location, a real sense that the owner is part of it. You know,
the restaurant
it's owner-operator.
The restaurant's the Weeping Elm, isn't it? That's the one. And one of the things they used to say about Donegal is like the height of gourmet sophistication was when the waiter goes, "Do you want chip with that?" you know, and it's just like,
Now,
you got to be kidding me. But no, but the point is that's all changed. And so I've noticed in the last 5 to 10 years, there's been almost this radical transformation of Donegal eatery. Like, I always think, and like, I used to think when I was younger is that almost like food wasn't a pleasure, it was a necessity. And so you just kind of ate and if you fussed, you were just being a pain.
All right, but if you
changed.
go to Donegal, what do you actually do?
Well, there's lots of things. For me, I like golf, so I would sit and probably have a long conversation with somebody and say that the best golf courses I've played in this country are in Donegal. And what the really nice thing about it is one, it doesn't have any of the pretentious snobbery that you find associated with some other better known golf courses around the island, and two, you won't find the same prices either. So, like, you're going to play like a place like Rosapenna or Dunfanaghy or places like that, where, like, say Rosapenna, which is now there's a new course there which is like apparently...
Is Bundoran in Donegal?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I've played Bundoran.
Have you? Okay, well, the thing is that...
And when the wind blows, like...
Ah, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Listen, you know.
Yeah.
But the thing is, so you have... Someone asked me once, in a completely unrelated subject, goes, what's the nicest place you've ever been to, ever? And, which is an impossible question to answer because it depends on my mood and depends on my place and time. But I will say the 9th tee box in Dunfanaghy is one of my favourite places on earth, for the simple reason is that it's an elevated tee box, like so many golf courses taking advantage of the natural landscape. And you look around and you've got Hornhead, you've got Bay, you can see Roswell Peninsula in the distance. It's absolutely stunning. So, and all this for, like, you know, you go and you play around for like 20 quid.
All right. Now, the Donegal Good Food Taverns is a fantastic trail of Donegal pubs.
Actually, I'd never even heard of that. That's very good to know.
Yeah, a lot of people, it's DonegalGoodFoodTaverns.com, and it gives you all the bars in the thing. Wonderful beaches and pubs in Gweedore.
Oh, yeah. Well, is it Crowley's in Gweedore? Is that the one that's owned by the Clannad people, the Clannad crowd?
All right, okay. The town, Deco says, the town of Ballybuffet has a unique distinction. Do you know what it is? No.
Ballybuffet. I know it's where Donegal football play. Actually, speaking of which, you know the way I was trying to think of a kind of a nice audio memory that would evoke Donegal for me.
Yeah.
It's to do with Donegal football.
And it's over! And Donegal has won the All-Ireland final! They win by 4 points!
1992, George.
Who'd they beat?
Dublin.
That was the great Ger Canning, was it?
No.
Doing the broadcast?
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
No, but the point is that Donegal...
That was the only time they've ever won.
Only time they've ever won
Okay.
it, unfancied. And I'm not... Now, as a Dubliner, I happened to be in Donegal because my friend's older brother was getting married the day before. So we were all up in Donegal for a celebratory weekend. We were in... I think we ended up in Macari's Bar, which is in Kildara, between Creasla and Dunfanaghy. And, George, they lit bonfires all over the county. Like, it was... The celebration, it was actually, I have to say, it was one of the more moments of pure pleasure that I've ever had, was just this weekend in Donegal, the year they won the All-Ireland. And as a Dubliner, I couldn't care less that they beat Dublin.
All right, it's an extraordinary number of listeners who've been in Donegal. There's a lovely restaurant in Annagry.
In Annagry, yeah.
Called Danny Minnie's.
Okay.
Darren Galway says, please talk about
Maharorty Beach. Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, where the ferry goes to
Tory Island.
Yeah,
that's right.
And there are huge sand dunes there, apparently, is it?
There are, yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is that particularly the northwestern section of Donegal, like where you're getting the ferry up to Tory.
It's a long way away, though, is it not?
Here's the thing. It's not... Ever since the M1 motorway for Dubliners has transformed access, particularly to northwestern Donegal. But so if you're going to southwestern Donegal, you go up the Sligo Road and you cut up towards Donegal town. But if you're going up to Letterkenny and then into northwestern Donegal or northeastern Donegal,
Newry Armagh.
No, what you're doing? Oh yeah, you are going to. No, you don't go near Armagh. You go into you go up through the M1 up at RD, and then you turn up and you go up that way and you come in through Lifford.
Oh, I see. Somebody's been to Harvey's Point, stunning hotel. And then Port Salim Beach, that was voted one of the top 5 beaches in the world,
Yeah,
no less.
that's right.
And Hugh in Dundalk thinks Rossapena is better than St Andrews golf course.
Well, it's an Rossapena, the new Rossapena is much harder than St Andrews. I mean, when the wind blows, they're all tough. But Rossapena is stunning, and Port Salin also has a terrific golf course as well as a beautiful beach. And it's one of those things is that a lot of people go, oh yeah, it's so far away. But once you get up there, it's worth every effort. What did I want you to mention? Oh yeah, there's another thing. Just outside Donegal town is we were talking about Rathmullen House. Another place is Loch Esk. Loch Esk Castle is as far as I'm concerned, I put it in my top 5 hotels in Ireland.
Because I'm no good on Donegal except on Glenveigh National Park. Do you want
to talk about Glenveigh?
Well, I went up there to make a reality television where I had to get the Golden Eagle.
The Golden Eagle, yeah. I remember you did that, yeah.
Yeah, and I was stunned is the only way to describe it.
Isn't it breathtaking?
And the Glenveigh Castle is well worth the visit.
I listen, you're doing my job for me here because you're dead right.
That's the only bit I know.
But you're dead right. Like, what is... I think it's your man, what's his name? Henry McElhenney is his name. He turned it into, he's a big deer hunter, so he's got lots of deer heads and things like that, your classic thing you'd expect. You can only get in by guided tour, but even if you don't bother with the castle, which I urge you to, because I think it is well worth the tour, the national park itself, you've got like shimmering lakes and all the rest, and it's just great to go for a walk. And it's got a really kind of potted history, because I think it was John George Adair was the landlord who owned that whole stretch of land. And so the story goes is that in, I think, the winter of 1844, so mid-famine, he decided that the row of cottage houses, all the tenant farmers that worked on his land, that they were obscuring his beautiful view, so he ordered them all evicted. And 160 years later, if you talk to people about it, they still spit in the ground at the thought of John Adair.
There's a wonderful, centre about the whole place.
That's right, yeah.
Now, what about the town of Ballybofey has no Catholic church. They go over the bridge to Stranola, says Deco. That's
Stranola. I didn't realise that. That's right.
Now, do you know the Glenbar? Tom and Dublin says.
Oh, do I know the Glenbar? Oh, yeah.
Where's the Glenbar?
The Glenbar it's not far from Creasla. It's kind of up the back road from Creasla. Where are you going to? It's not far from Rossapena, actually, believe it or not, in Carrigart. That's where it is.
It's a great place, is it?
Okay. Oh, when you think of that kind of low-ceilinged, low-beamed, traditional Irish pub, the Glen is it. Then you go into the Glen, you have your drinks, and actually part of the celebrations for Donegal winning the All-Ireland happened in the Glen Bar. At the back of the Glen, though, is an extraordinarily good restaurant. If I'm not mistaken, specialising in fish, but not exclusively. A really, really good spot to get a bite to eat. And if you're up and around that part of the world, and it's not the easiest place to find, you're just kind of out in the middle of nowhere, but that's part of its charm. So, Can I mention just Slieve League? Can I mention the Slieve?
Please do, because somebody says best scenery in Ireland, Slieve League, Sea Cliffs in South Donegal.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Leo's Tavern, home of Clannad and Enya.
It's Leo's Tavern, sorry, in Crawley, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one, yeah. That's the one that, Clannad, I think the dad.
I can't believe there's a number of people who are up in Donegal.
Okay. Cliffs of Moher get all of the attention, and, it's fine for good reason. Slieve League are taller. They're taller. They're the highest sea cliffs in Europe.
Oh.
They're absolutely gorgeous. And there's a place, the Nula Star Teelan, okay? It's the best way. Slieve League, I think I might have said this on the programme before. I have a memory of saying it before. But they're best seen from the sea. So you just get on to the Nula Star and you can get on for about €20 to €25 per person. You get like a whole sea cruise, and you kind of come up right underneath and you see the cliffs kind of soaring, whatever it is, 600 metres above you, or whatever they are.
Okay.
Or 600 feet, or whatever the hell they are. But they're huge, and you just come in underneath. It really is. It's a spectacular, it's a really great thing to do.
Have you been to the Rosses?
I know the Rosses, yeah.
The great beach. They're self-catering for families called Rectory Holiday Cottages up in the Rosses. Ballyliffin.
Oh, Ballyliffin's another great golf course. Ballyliffin's one absolutely brilliant. One of the things about the Gweedore, which is of course the Gaeltacht area, but that whole area is they got the worst of the bungalow blight. So, from the late 90s onwards, all of a sudden, all these kind of pristine landscapes. I'll tell you one. I'll put a positive spin on it. There's no shortage of self-catering cottages.
Right.
So you can go up there and you can find...
I tell you, I'm astonished at the bill here. Best steak ever, the Highlands Hotel, says Kevin. Nancy's Pub in Ardara.
In Ardra. Yeah.
Ardra.
Yeah, Nancy's Bar is brilliant. It's like you're sitting in Nancy's own living room.
You actually know this place.
Yeah, sure, I know. Yeah, you see, Ardra is kind of the weaving capital of Donegal. So you go at Ardra Weavers and you get that Donegal tweed that you know, a lot of people fancy, particularly American tourists. But some of it's really greedy. It's not naff. It's actually quite beautiful. Ardra Weavers. So you go into the Weavers and you can actually see the stuff being made. And then it's a beautiful little town. But Nancy's Bar, it's like you're actually in Nancy's living room. It's a terrific spot. And not just down the road on the way if you're going down south again, you go through the Glengesh Pass. And the Glengesh Pass is as alpine a pass as you'll find anywhere outside of Switzerland.
I
Austria.
never knew there was so much up there at all.
I'm telling you, that's the thing.
I brought Ingrid up to Letterkenny for the broadcast and we saw nothing.
Do you know, I got dogs abuse because obviously I'm one of the authors of the Lonely Planet Guide, and Letterkenny got a bit of a, let's say an iffy review. And I
thought Letterkenny was a bit iffy, to be honest.
Well, one of the problems with Letterkenny is like a lot of towns, and this isn't just to pick on Letterkenny, but it kind of got lots of these kind of industrial parks were built, all these kind of new housing, and that's fine because that's the nature of urban planning in the last 20 years in Ireland. But I'm saying as a tourist experience, but Letterkenny is important. If you're going to visit northwest or northeastern Donegal, you're really going to have to use, particularly with the northwest, you have to use Letterkenny. So it's an important transition point. There's nothing especially wrong with it, but if I was to say to someone, go to Donegal for a long weekend, I'm not going to tell you go and spend.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I did. I spent a long weekend in Letterkenny. And now, Inishowen, a hidden treasure. Portneuf. Nairn of Portneuf is one of golf's hidden gems.
Yeah, Portneuf is a great... I've never played it, but a friend of mine who's from Donegal tells me it's a terrific spot.
Tremendous number of people talking about Harvey's Point Hotel.
Oh, really? Can I mention a couple of things? You mentioned Glenveigh. My other kind of standout highlights. I mean, the Donegal... all of Donegal.
Stand out away.
Mount Errigal. Climb Mount Errigal, which is amazing. But the Poison Glen. The Poison Glen is one of the most beautiful spots in the whole country, never mind.
And where's that?
Poison Glen is just a kind of, it's in the kind of the Gweedore area.
All right.
Oh, it's amazing. There's a ruin of an old famine church down at the bottom. Maybe it isn't but anyway, but it's not been used for 100 years or more. A ruin of a church at the bottom of the valley, and you just stand there and you kind of drive up and you're just looking at it. It's just breathtaking stuff. It's a very reason why people travel thousands of miles to come to Ireland in the first place.
Do you know where the Gap of Moor is?
No, I don't.
Right. It's a wonderful hair-raising drive. It's near Clonmany.
Okay.
All right. Now, Fannet is a great spot for surfing and windsurfing. Somebody said.
Yeah, the peninsula is very good.
I knew there was something to say to you. Last week on the programme, there's a guy up there, he used to be a Fine Gael TD or something, and he got a hotel. And on an individual marketing day...
This is the Germans.
17,000.
Isn't that unbelievable? Now, that's a classic thing of... it's like, for example, is Bundoran... A lot of the hotels are owned by, is it Brian McAniff?
Yeah, McAniff's.
Yeah, so the McAniff family, is Brian or Sean. One of them was a Donegal manager, the other one's a hotelier. But this really industrious approach to tourism.
17,000 Germans
I think
are going to bring in.
But the thing is, right, and at the time, it's like people were going, oh my God, what, in Donegal? I remember listening to that news story and thinking, it's self-evident. Donegal, on its own, is, like, if you're German and you're going, landscapes, beaches, golf, fishing.
I'm sold. Listen, if you want to be sold, you can get Fionn's travel notes by simply emailing therighthhooktravel@newstalk.ie. You'll be then a member of our travel club, which means every week you'll get Fionn's notes in your email. Go on, do it. It's time you did it. You know you've been promising yourself.
Tuesday travel on the right hook, thanks to Vodafone, giving you internet on your smartphone across Europe from just €2 a day.
Right now at Ruhama.
I know just how good he is.